Well, with this, Ren, thank you for the raid and settle in. You know, if you got a little time or if you got to go to bed, hey, it's midnight. I understand. Yeah, Shukan, you're fine. Don't worry about it, please. I appreciate your generosity in the past. There's no rush for the capsules or for any Avernus. Or I don't know if you get Avernus because you don't really. From what you're saying, you don't really like the set too much, but or anything else. Don't worry about it. Don't force it. You're absolutely fine. All right, so we popped open some Avernus. Capsules are ready to go. We have our character randomizer open, but this isn't really going to serve us too much good tonight. What will serve us a little bit of good is our dice roller, which we're going to reset just in case. And if we put this away, you can see that we have made a very basic worksheet for the 4 characters that we have generated. Hey, Walleye, don't worry. I understand. It's an odd schedule, and frankly, I should probably look into seeing how I rebroadcast, like how to do a rerun. Because I think a lot of who we are and what we do, others could appreciate just at a different time. And once I understand how you do a rerun, I might start rerunning broadcasts. So there are the VODs, and this stuff will end up on YouTube. But reruns may also help in what we're presenting as a group. Now, I also have the Dungeon Master's Guide open, and that's because there's a lot of treasure in here. Major Loot! Oh, Major Loot is rolling in right as we're getting ready to equip the party. Hello, hello! Oh, what was your name prior? Oh, it's Jose Gonk. Oh, welcome, Jose. Good evening to you. I will do my best to remember that, but if I don't, then please remind me, and I won't take it personally, Jose. Or I should say Major in this case. So we're joined by Major Loot, previously known as Jose Gonk. And with the power that LethalityComplex is running, this is the spread that he wanted to give to each of the characters. And what I'd like to do then is equip them, but maybe do so in another fashion, just as we had randomly generated our characters. Perhaps we can insert a little bit of randomness into the loot that they have. Because on top of what they're given, they're also going to get a random amount of starting money, equal to 25,000 plus 1d10 times 250 gold pieces. And I think we might be able to have some fun with this too. Because why not offer some storytelling opportunities for Lethality, who's going to be the dungeon master of this game. Alright, Walleye, no problem. I do have Xanathar's Guide open as well. We have already rolled up the 4 members of the party, Major, and now what we're going to do is we're going to give them some magical equipment, whether they're items or wondrous items or the like. Well, maybe a Vorpal Sword. what I'm thinking we can do is, instead of just giving everyone, say, a magic weapon, what if we give them something random, right? If we give them, let's say... Alright, so we come down here, and there are weapons, armor, wondrous items, scrolls, and potions. You got to give them something right away. We generated 4 18th level characters, and so with that generation, we presume that they have acquired these items along the way. Yeah, this is for a one-shot major, so we're gonna presume they're already a team. They already have this gear, and they're gonna be going into this. Armor, potions, scrolls, rods, and rings. So, I mean, weapons is kind of, I mean, if our barbarian ends up with a wand, you know, but if we leave that to, if we just sort of leave weapons as some sort of, I'm rolling for extras to hit that might be appropriate for a character like this. But if we could just go and put staffs, rods, wands. Armor, potions, rings, rods, scrolls. So if we put staffs, wands, and rods under weapons, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I'm going to do is, for each of the slots that we have here, I'm going to roll. And so we're going to see on a 1, we have weapons. 2 is armor, 3 is a wondrous item, 4 is scrolls, 5 is potions, and 6 is rings. Now, LethalityComplex, are you out there? Because I do need to ask before I do this, if you had planned on scaling this so that everyone was guaranteed pluses to hit or pluses to AC or saves because of armor or weapons that you presume that they'd have. Or if you are okay if I randomly roll for the items that they have. You got it? Welcome back, Walleye, with it. Yep, it's good stuff. It's diet sweet tea, though, because I had some peach cobbler earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to overdo things. Lethality might still be looking at some Shadowrun stuff. One moment while I ping him. Are you okay with random rolls for each of the magic items, or were you counting on them all having magic, armor, weapons, and a quote-unquote standard loadout? And we'll see if he gets back to me on that one. Now, while I'm waiting for a reply, something that I do want to say is we can also have a little bit of fun. Because I did get permission from LethalityComplex to have a little bit of fun with the items. and even create perhaps a legendary item of our own. And there are different ways you can go about it. One of those is... let's scroll towards the back. You can create sentient magic items. You can also give them an alignment, a special purpose. Here's some different items that are also of legendary tier, by the way. And with artifacts, we're not they each are going to get a legendary item, not artifact tier. Artifact is certainly even more powerful than even legendary items. However, if we're going to create something interesting, perhaps we could try our hand at... I say it as the hand of Vecna scrolls past. At giving them some minor properties for good or bad. What are the current classes? So we have an 18th level Goliath illusionist who is the standard bearer for a group of mercenaries. Good morning, Grimvex. We have an urban bounty hunter that is a sea elf who is multi-classed as a thief and moon druid. We have a cloistered alchemist or alchemic researcher who is a turtle and has taken the oath of the crown as a paladin. Yeah, something like that, Amy. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can have some fun with that. In fact, I mean, I don't know if he's too busy, but if Trustaflumph had a little bit of free time and wanted to come on voice chat, I'm not prompting you if you can't right now, Trustaflumph. But if you did, you want to talk about someone who's used to making legendary items or incorporating them, Trustaflumph is one of the DMs over at D&D Time, and they do a lot of workshopping like this. And if not by voice, then by text, as his tendrils go plip, plip, plip on the keyboard, just like that. And then lastly, we have this gate urchin, someone who grew up in the shadow of a great city, an air genasi, who is a berserker barbarian. Now, it should be noted that with the random rolls, we actually have two neutral evil characters, a chaotic evil character and a chaotic neutral character. So our characters are going to be darker, they're going to be more selfish. And interestingly enough, the prompt for the one-shot is actually around darkness. Lethality says random is fine, just so long as they can use it. So no spell scrolls or wand of the war mage for the barbarian, etc. Yep. Alright, gotcha, Lethality. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up in reply. Boop. There you go. Do tendrils go plip plip, or do they go... I would say plap plap. Plap plap is more of a tendril-y sound, I believe, oh sheeps. So speaking of the characters, the first character that we're going to be generating some items for is... Elderson Melandro of the Shepherds. We're going to do the easy bit here first. Let's roll a d10. 2. So we have 2 times, so this is 500. So this is going to be some spare gold that Elderson has to spend. And now I'm going to roll, as you can see, legendary, very rare, 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 so 4, 5, 6, 7 with 3 uncommons. I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7d6. Now, if we get something like 2 sets of armor, then I'm going to roll to find out which one. Weapons, you could arguably have more than one kind of weapon. Armor is more of a one and done. So if armor does come up several times, I'm going to just decide which one is which. Yeah, I just flop on my keyboard and hope it works. Alright, so Elderson here. The first number is legendary, going all the way down to the final uncommon tier. So we have 664. Actually, you know... y'all can't see this, but still, it's going to make this easier for me to type. We had 6, 6, 4, 3, 3, 2, and 4. So if we take a look, so 2 rings, a scroll, that's fine, we have a wizard, 2 wondrous items, armor, and another scroll. Ring. Ring. 4s are scrolls. Then 3, 3, and 2. 2 wondrous items and an armor. Oh, Sheeps goes clop clop on her keyboard. Hey, Dark Wolf! Dark Wolf, when you type on your keyboard, what sound do your paws make? Something like a pap pap pap, or a skirt skirt skirt. Because you got the little like the wolf claws. Oh, papped, papped. Yep, that works. Papped, 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 papped. There we go. So in your minds, as Dark Wolf is on her keyboard here with us tonight, then she is as she's using her paws to type, they're going papped, 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 papped. So a Ring of Elemental Commander Invisibility Ring, we'll find out. As we can do a lot with this, Walleye. So I don't know just yet what this is going to mean. Because we can randomly roll, although I would like to build some interesting... items here. Alright, though let's keep generating some numbers as we're going down the line here. Oh, you painted some Owoos today. Oh my. You're running a pack now. All right, once more, we have 7d6, and this is going to be for Cormoraine Stormheart. Four. 2, 4, 4, 1, 6, 3. Working on a grizzly bear now. Yeah, you definitely have a pack roll. And speaking of, so here we go. We have a sheep, a walleye, and 2 wolves with us. Probably not, Mr. Wolfie. I don't have a Switch, so I won't be playing the game. I'm open to ideas. Like, I know that there's, for 5th edition, the Kanto Pokemon have been translated into a Monster Manual style book. So that could be interesting to do. Yeah, I'm sorry. At this point in time, I wouldn't be a good person for that. I mean, who knows what'll change before November. Yeah, well, so we could go over stuff like that. Alright, so as we look here, 4s were scrolls. And our Moon Druid can definitely cast scrolls. Now, there is a point, though, because you can only cast scrolls to a certain point. So our legendary scroll in this case might be legendary because it allows someone who normally can't cast a spell to cast it all the same. Then let's see, we have a 2, which is armor. This is an uncommon weapon of some kind that either that our rogue or druid can use. Item 6 is a ring, and item 3 is a wondrous item. All the food fight emotes. Hang on, I'm gonna get in on this too. Working though, so you gotta go back. All right. We'll see you around, Mr. Wolfie. And now for Cormorant, how much extra cash is she getting? 3. So this is going to be 750. Next up, we have our character Mau Mau. My fish shall bring victory. 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 1 6 1 3. All right, so weapons we might be able to get away with having 2 of, possibly. Armor, however, not usually as much. An exception to this could be a shield, because we are trained. That said, Mau Mau is a great weapon fighter. So it could possibly be going between 2 weapons. This character, so it might not be too bad. However, we have 3 weapons in this case. Mau Mau is quite the loadout. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. I'm going to re-roll. And we're going to give him 1 weapon. 1 weapon for sure. And we'll roll for the others. That way we don't know where the weapon is going to be. We don't have bias, because as much as I'd love to see a legendary weapon, and we still may, what interesting legendary wondrous item could Mau Mau have instead? That could do some fun stuff too. So I'm going to roll a 3-sided die, and the number that comes up is the slot in which we keep the weapon. The 1 slot. So we have a legendary item, or a legendary weapon. I'm gonna re-roll the rare and the uncommon. 5 and 6. All right. 5 and 6. So 1 is a weapon. Armor. Yeah, I'm just gonna go 1 or 2 is the one we keep for straight up armor. Very rare armor. This next item then becomes a 4. 4 is a scroll. And being a paladin, we can read some scrolls. 5 are potions and 6 are rings. Ring. And the uncommon is a wondrous item. Ah, Delcorin, thank you for the host. Mau gets some bonus money equal to... Whew. We're averaging very low for the modifier. All right, then lastly, we have Foon Cold Spark. We have a 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 1, and 2. And then the D10 is a 7. Ah, there we go. So that's going to be... there we go. And so you all can see real quick. Boop, boop, boop. Those were my results. No, thank you for it, Delcorin. Absolutely, thank you. Quick maths. Exactly, O'Sheeps. It's all up in the noggin. So we have a legendary scroll of some kind. We have a very rare... wondrous item. We have rare armor. We have a rare ring. We have an uncommon potion. An uncommon weapon of some kind. And an uncommon armor. Because we got that extra 2. Alright, so... well, you know what? We actually have a barbarian... We have a barbarian who is a minimalist and is eschewing armor in favor of a two-handed glaive. So actually, in this case, I might just re-roll both the armors because this character is built doesn't wear armor. Hey, welcome back, Trustaflumph. Oh, we're doing all kinds of stuff. We rolled a 4 and a 4. So, a scroll and a scroll. Now, here's the thing. We have a barbarian. And so, barbarians can't normally use scrolls. Oh, wait. I don't know. In 5th edition, I might be incorrect on that. Hang on. I gotta double check. Apparently, the Narzagon and the Nightmare come paired. Oh, interesting. I was not aware of that. So it's like it was like the double dragon boxes out of Tyranny of Dragons then. That is good to know, Trustaflump. Thank you. Hey, Golden, good to see you. Welcome back. Meow. Yeah, gonna come say hi to people? Yeah, there she is. Apparently the Narzagon rides the Nightmare. Gotcha. There you go. The cat butts have it. There. Yep. Bye. Hey, 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 hey. That is not an excuse for you to be able to do that. There we go. All right. So let's see what the barbarian gets instead. 322. Wondrous item and more armor. All right, well, at least we have a wondrous item. 6 and a 5. A ring and a potion. Ring and a potion. Excellent. So Mau Mau's getting a legendary weapon. Cormoraine is getting an uncommon weapon. Elderson is getting no weapon in particular that is super special. I mean, you know, we're a wizard. A wand could be cool, but we're getting some other stuff that we can use here instead. Now, in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, you'll find the treasures that are in the Dungeon Master's Guide. However, they're going to be laid out a little bit differently. As you can see, they have them by tier. Minor items that are uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. Major items that are uncommon, rare, lots of them, very rare, and legendary. Mau Mau gets the Holy Avenger. Ah, that's been done before, though. Paladins get Holy Avengers, and that's old hat, Walleye. I think we could do something. We could do something fun and better. Now, Trustaflump, if you're back, I was actually talking about D&D time because you do a fair share of magic item workshopping. And we were given permission by LethalityComplex to design some things that these adventurers could have, which could even include sentient items. And of course there are some rules for that. What I would also like to point out is that in this chapter there are things that can get you to think about the magic items you have. So for example, do you have a cursed item? As well, who created the item? And what is its history? Has it come from someplace interesting? And I think for the legendary items, we can go through and give those legendary items a little bit more personality. And Trustaflump, if you wanted to, I'm not here to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to, by text or by voice, to sort of phone in and go through an item creation process, we can discuss how would you tier something to the legendary tier or the very rare tier or something along those lines. I definitely would think that our legendary items we'd go through this this list of minor properties and a quirk. And I think too, Well, you know what? I'm going to ask LethalityComplex. Would you be opposed if an item were cursed in some way? Yeah, I know I'm putting you on the spot. You don't have to, trust a flump. Or if you're like, I don't want to talk, I'll just plip with my tendrils on the keyboard. Yep, don't worry about it, trust a flump. You're fine. This was a last moment thing. However, hey, shout outs to D&D time because you do magic item creation workshops. Lethality says, not particularly, just so long as it's not exceptionally severe. Alright. So, let's do this. I will, we have all these items, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 items per character. Why don't I roll 7 d20s, and in the event we roll a 1, yep, a minor curse in some way. If I roll a 1 on any of the items, then we're going to apply a minor curse to it in some way. Whoops, that's the roll for 1d2. I'm like, I got a 1 already? Hang on a minute. The legendary ring of Elderson Melandro is cursed. Alright, what about Cormorane? Cormorane is clear. Hey, Cold Spark, welcome. Mau Mau? Mau Mau's third item is cursed. We have a cursed scroll. And lastly, Foon. Foon has no cursed items. Yeah, fitting it's the legendary item that got cursed first, right? And so we can go over an interesting way to curse an item. Did we roll any 20s? We did roll 120 in all of this, and that was on Mau Mau. Mau Mau, who has the cursed scroll, has a 20 on the armor. So maybe we can add a minor blessing in some way. And I'll show you all how to do that. One moment. A cursed scroll indeed. All right. Now, when you're in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there are different features that that will help to make a magic item distinct in some way. And you can get a little bit of lore for stuff like this. And I think it'd be appropriate for legendary and maybe even the very rare item if we go through and we make them a little bit more distinct, something to stand out. Then for the rare items, not that we can't do the same, we could also go through and say what is a what's a minor property that it has. And if we want to apply something like a quirk to the uncommon item, or we could do a minor property and a quirk to the rares. As the uncommons are, the uncommons are that they're magical items. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like super arcane or necessarily made by the master forge smithy so and so. Although, you know what? What quirk does it have? These are kind of like trinkets. Anyway, let's make decisions. If we don't like it or Lethality doesn't like it, you know what we do? We go like this and we hit the backspace button. And suddenly, it's not that anymore. But until then, we get to have fun and imagine things. Alright, so first up, Elderson Melandro has a legendary ring that's also cursed in some way. Let's roll a d20 for who created it, and a detail from its history. Created for, and historical detail. Are you telling me none of these items were made by Master Smith so-and-so? Maybe they could be. I suppose we'll have to see. We're going to roll a d20 and then a d8. 6 and 5. Alright, now that we have these, let's take a look. This ring... Oh, dragon. This item is made from scales and talons shed by a dragon. Perhaps it incorporates precious metals and gems from the dragon's hoard. It grows slightly warm within 120 feet of a dragon. Dragon. This item is made from scales and talons. Or we could just make a decision. Shed by a dragon. Perhaps it incorporates precious metals and gems from the dragon's hoard. It grows slightly warm when within 120 feet of a dragon. Yeah, it's although at 120 feet, you're getting really close. However, you know what would be interesting? Because dragons do have this habit of polymorphing into human beings. And so, you go out for a night on the town. There's a nice looking person who's eating a meal. You go over, you introduce yourself. Ah, I'm an adventurer, are you too? Oh yeah, of course I am, says he or she. And suddenly you realize as you're talking to this person, your finger's getting a little warm. Uh-oh. Historical Detail 5, Prophecy. The item features in a prophecy. Its bearer is destined to play a key role in future events. Someone else who wants to play that role might try to steal the item, or someone who wants to prevent the prophecy from being fulfilled might try to kill the item's bearer. So we have some good prompts. Some mechanical, but some very good roleplay prompts. Now, for this very rare ring, let's add some kind of a minor property to it. And a quirk. A ring of, so you would modify a ring of fire elemental command to have a curse that whenever you walk, little bits of warm ash fall from your feet. It would make things like being tracked easier, or you might accidentally set things on fire if you're walking around, you know, like a bunch of dry pine needles or something. Now, what I'm doing here for our workshop, again, this is arbitrary. If we're gonna make these magic items for the Gathering of Nerds, let's make a couple of them special, right? Let's not just have the flame tongue, or let's not just have whatever bracers of archery or whatever we give. Let's have it be something fun and cool and a little bit customized from the Matty Morg's workshop here. Classic WoW Ragnaros killed in 5 days of release. I don't know what that means, Tesla. Can you please decipher that for me? Minor property is number 14 and quirk 7. 14 and 7. Minor property is it is temperate. The bearer suffers no harm in temperatures, I butchered that, as cold as minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, or as warm as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And it has a quirk that it is metamorphic. The item periodically and randomly alters its appearance in slight ways. The bearer has no control over these minor alterations, which have no effect on the item's use. Okay. We'll stick with adding some extra special stuff to the legendary and rare. Oh, a bunch of people were hyped up for Classic WoW's release 5 days ago. Devs were going to roll out content over time with Ragnaros as the first big raid boss. And within 5 days of release, the final boss was killed by a group of people not even at max level. Oh my. Well, so what we rolled for this Walleye fan, this is for the very rare ring, and not the cursed legendary item up here. Now, if we want to put a curse on something, One way you can go about doing that, if you go to the end where it talks about legendary items, there are things like minor detrimental properties and major detrimental properties that you can roll for. And so too are there minor and major beneficial properties. As Lethality said, yeah, I'd appreciate it if it's not exceptionally severe. Then what we can do, is roll something on the minor detrimental properties for the curse. Let's roll a percentile set. We rolled an 80. 80 is while you're attuned to the artifact, other creatures can't take short or long rest while within 300 feet of you. While you are attuned to the artifact. I mean, in this case, it's item. Other creatures can't take short or long rests while within 300 feet of you. Today's 12-sided guy socks with gleaming property should be standard issue. So that's stuff like that we'll find in Xanathar's here. Now let's see. Here, let's put a. We have a. What was the name of it? Come on. Minor property quirk. And a blessing. And down here, this is just going to have a curse of some kind on it. So we'll roll for the minor detrimental and the curse. 37. This is, while attuned to the artifact, you are physically ill and have disadvantage on any ability check or saving throw that uses strength or constitution. So this is on a scroll. Now, scrolls don't necessarily require attunement. However, we can say that until the spell is cast, or something along those lines, you are physically ill and have disadvantage. That's very interesting, given the fact that we have a turtle who then gets advantage when in her shell. So if she's in her shell, she can actually negate this. The spell is Ray of Sickness. Yeah, the magic is just kind of bleeding out. Oh, Gleaming is Dungeon Master's Guide? Ah, yes, yeah, they'll never get dirty. Yeah, so it could be something along those lines. Though, alright, so here... So, this is the part of a curse that is interesting. And I hope then, if anyone from, oh, we do have people from the Gathering of Nerds watching. You're not supposed to know something is cursed until you find out that it is. So it'd be something like once the curse is used. Or like maybe once the spell is cast, a curse falls upon the user here. So what I will do, maybe this is something that we should leave up to Lethality to call at the table, because this isn't something you can really attune to as a scroll, and we rolled that there is a rare scroll here. But there's a curse upon the scroll. And so in this case, we'll say that apply a curse once the spell is cast. DMG page 220. Or come up with something appropriate. This way, lethality has a little bit of flexibility at the table, because it's nothing that is right here. For reference, we rolled a 37 on the chart. But if he wants to adapt it, that would be up to him in that case. Now, for the blessing that is on this armor, if we come to minor beneficial properties, let's roll a percentile set. We rolled a 30. While attuned to the artifact, you're immune to disease. We already get that by being a paladin. So we could just change that to poison then. We're immune to poison. And no other curses or blessings. All right, let's go back up to the beginning of the section here. And let's fill this out, and then we'll take a quick break, and then come back, and we'll roll for the other two characters, and then we'll start doing some item building from here. So we filled that in. However, the legendary here is going to be for... we have created for and historical detail. Okay. And then minor property and a quirk. Oop. All right, who is it created for? We have a 20 and then a D8. 7 and 1. 7, 1, and then a D20 and a D12. 13 and 4. Okay. Let's see. Created for 7, a drow. The item is half the normal weight. It is black and inscribed with spiders and webs in honor of Lolth. It might function poorly or disintegrate if exposed to sunlight for 1 minute or more. And a historical detail, the arcane. This item was created for an ancient order of spellcasters and bears the order's symbols. Yeah, Cold Spark, once it's cast for a certain amount of time, and I'll let lethality mitigate or remediate that. Our minor property is 13. Strange material. The item was created from a material that is bizarre given its purpose. its durability is unaffected. And the quirk that it has is 4. It's frail also. How would this work? Item was created from a material that is bizarre given its purpose. Its durability is unaffected. So we have very rare armor. So the armor perhaps just chips away over time. And so maybe we get a higher armor than normal. This is a level 18 adventure, and it actually then might degrade. So it starts out higher, then you get some average hits, and then it starts degrading even more. The item crumbles, frays, chips, or cracks slightly when wielded, worn, or activated. This quirk, this quirk has no effect on its properties. But if the item has seen much use, it looks decrepit. So it looks like it wears down a lot more. It looks like it could look very bad after a battle. And so maybe some mending might actually kind of polish that up, since it's magical or quasi-magical frailty, and so magical polish will give it back. Yeah, or it could be to a certain type, because of course we don't know. Like, all this says is armor. Who knows what that means? All right, so we have some very interesting things to consider. And in fact, I'm just going to put each of the characters on their own page. That way we have a lot of room to work with, or with which to work, I should say. And when we come back, we'll then give some of these quirks and blessings and such to Mau Mau and to Foon, and then we'll continue to equip the party and design some cool gear for them. So hang on tight, everyone. We're gonna get up and get a snack and a drink, walk around, do what you're gonna do, and let's keep our thinking caps on as we continue this workshop project.